Welcome back to Better by the Minute. Today we're delving into a crucial topic: recognizing and understanding subtle behaviors that manipulators use to exert control. In our daily lives, we encounter a multitude of interactions, each with its own dynamics. Among these, manipulation is a common yet often overlooked aspect. It's a subtle art, practiced by those seeking to control or influence others, often without their knowledge. But fear not, knowledge is power, and today we're empowering you with the ability to identify these manipulative tactics. We'll cover 10 common behaviors, from love bombing and gaslighting to the silent treatment, and more. By understanding these, you'll be better equipped to navigate your relationships, whether it's at work, at home, or in your social circles. So, buckle up and prepare to unmask the hidden world of manipulation. If you're ready to unmask manipulation, dive into this crucial conversation. First up, we have love bombing. This tactic is a manipulator's grand entrance, often mistaken for genuine affection. It's an overwhelming influx of attention and affection, usually at the beginning of a relationship. The manipulator showers their target with compliments, gifts, and seemingly endless admiration. Sounds pretty good, right? But here's the catch. This shower of affection is not about love. It's about control. The manipulator uses this to make their target emotionally dependent on them, setting the stage for future manipulation. The victim, basking in the glow of this affection, can easily overlook red flags. They might find themselves increasingly isolated, their self-esteem tied to the manipulator's approval. The impact can be profound, with victims often left feeling confused and emotionally drained. So, beware of excessive affection or attention. It might be a manipulation tactic called love bombing. Next up is the subtle yet devastating tactic known as gaslighting. This psychological manipulation technique involves causing someone to question their own memory, perception, or sanity. Picture this. You're confident about remembering a certain event or conversation, but the manipulator insists it didn't happen that way, or even worse, insists it never happened at all. This constant questioning can lead to you doubting your own recollections and perceptions. Consider the impact of this. By undermining your trust in your own mind, the gaslighter gains control and power. This can lead to feelings of confusion, anxiety, and decreased self-esteem. It's a slow and insidious process, like a poison seeping in unnoticed, until the damage is done. Remember, your experiences and memories are valid. Don't let anyone rewrite your narrative. If you notice someone constantly correcting your recollections or making you feel like your memory is unreliable, that's a red flag. Always trust your perception and judgment. Don't let anyone manipulate your reality. Moving on to the next manipulation tactic: silent treatment. This tactic involves a person deliberately ignoring another as a form of punishment or control. It's a method to create a power dynamic, where one person holds the reins of communication. The manipulator may refuse to talk, respond, or engage, leaving the other person in a state of uncertainty and discomfort. Picture this. You're in a relationship, and your partner suddenly stops talking to you without any explanation. This creates a sense of insecurity, making you question your actions and even your worth. It's a subtle yet powerful tool that manipulators use to make others feel small and insignificant. The impact of the silent treatment can be detrimental, leading to feelings of guilt, distress, and anxiety. It's essential to understand that everyone deserves respect and open communication. Don't let someone's silence dictate your self-worth. Remember, communication is key in any relationship. Don't let silence manipulate you. Now, let's discuss a common manipulation tactic: playing the victim. This is a strategy where a person portrays themselves as the helpless one, always at the receiving end of life's unfairness. They paint a picture of themselves as constantly being mistreated or misunderstood, even when they're the ones causing problems. Let's consider an example. Imagine a colleague who regularly misses deadlines and then blames it on their workload, their personal issues, or even on you for not being supportive enough. They never take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they craft an image of being the perpetual victim. This tactic can be emotionally draining for those around them, as it fosters a cycle of guilt and obligation. It also conveniently shifts blame away from them, keeping them from facing any consequences for their actions. Understanding this behavior is key to unmasking manipulation. Stay alert for those who always play the victim card. It's a classic manipulation tactic. Next, we're discussing a tactic that many manipulators use: guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is when someone makes you feel guilty to get their way. It's a subtle yet powerful tool in a manipulator's arsenal. Picture this. A friend constantly reminding you of the one time they helped you out, using it as leverage to make you feel obligated to return the favor, regardless of your circumstances. Or imagine a partner who constantly brings up past mistakes, using them as ammunition to get their way in arguments or decisions. These are classic examples of guilt tripping. The impact? It can leave you feeling inadequate, overly apologetic, and trapped in a cycle of trying to make amends. It's essential to recognize when someone is using your guilt against you. Stand your ground. Remember, guilt is a powerful emotion. Don't let it be used to manipulate you. Now, let's uncover another subtle manipulation tactic: projection. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism where someone attributes their own unwanted emotions or impulses onto someone else. It's like seeing your own reflection in the mirror. But instead of acknowledging it, you blame the mirror for the image. For instance, let's say someone frequently breaks promises and doesn't follow through on commitments. Instead of accepting their lack of reliability, they might accuse others of being unreliable or untrustworthy. By doing so, they're projecting their own failings onto others. And here's why it's so harmful. It can make you question your own character and actions. It's a way of shifting blame and creating confusion, so the manipulator can avoid facing their own flaws and insecurities. But remember, when someone constantly points out your faults, it might be their own they're seeing, not yours. Be aware of those who project their issues onto others. It's a subtle form of manipulation. Moving on, we have triangulation. This is a clever tactic where the manipulator creates a triangle of communication, inserting themselves between two parties. Instead of allowing direct dialogue, they position themselves as the necessary go-between. This allows them to control the narrative, distorting information to their advantage. Consider a scenario where a friend relays negative comments about you, supposedly said by another friend. This puts you in a tough spot, doesn't it? Well, that's triangulation at work. The manipulator creates misunderstandings, fuels mistrust, and then steps in to play the savior. This not only gives them control, but also makes them seem indispensable. Triangulation is damaging as it disrupts healthy communication, breeds insecurity, and can potentially ruin relationships. It's crucial to recognize this manipulation and insist on direct communication. Question the motives of anyone who consistently positions themselves as a mediator. Remember, direct communication is crucial. Don't let third parties manipulate your relationships. Next, let's discuss overwhelming with information. This tactic is exactly what it sounds like. A manipulator may use a flood of information to confuse and disorient you. They pile on facts, figures, and stories, often at a rapid pace, making it difficult for you to process everything. Now you might be wondering, why would they do this? The answer is simple: to keep you off balance. Picture this. You're in a conversation, and suddenly, you're bombarded with so much information that you can't keep up. You're left feeling overwhelmed, unsure of what to believe or how to respond. That's precisely the reaction they're aiming for. In such a state, you're more likely to agree to their suggestions or demands without questioning them. So, next time you find yourself on the receiving end of an information avalanche, pause. Take a step back. Reflect. Beware of information overload. It might be a subtle way to manipulate you. Now, we're discussing a tactic that can be highly damaging: undermining confidence. Undermining confidence is a subtle yet powerful manipulation technique. It involves eroding a person's self-belief, often through constant criticism or doubt-casting. The manipulator might say things like, "Are you sure you can handle that?" Or, "That seems too difficult for you." They make it seem as if they're looking out for you, but in reality, they're chipping away at your self-assurance. Imagine being an artist and constantly hearing, "Your art isn't really that good," or an entrepreneur hearing, "Your ideas are too risky." Over time, these negative comments can lead to self-doubt and diminished confidence. The impact? You start questioning your abilities, your dreams shrink, and your potential goes untapped. Remember, undermining confidence is a tool manipulators use to exert control. Recognize it, challenge it, and most importantly, don't internalize it. Always believe in yourself. Don't let anyone shake your self-confidence. Finally, we're discussing conditional positive reinforcement. This subtle manipulation tactic involves the manipulator giving positive reinforcement, such as compliments, rewards, or affection, but only under specific conditions. It's a way for the manipulator to control the behavior of others by making them feel good when they act in a way that the manipulator desires. Let's imagine a situation where a boss praises an employee, but only when they stay late at work. The employee might start to believe they're only a good worker if they sacrifice their personal time. This is conditional positive reinforcement. Or consider a friend who showers you with compliments, but only when you agree with their opinions. You might start to feel that you're only likable when you conform to their views. This can lead to a damaging cycle of trying to meet the manipulator's conditions, often at the expense of your own needs and beliefs. Remember, genuine praise doesn't come with conditions. Don't fall for this manipulation tactic. There you have it. 10 subtle behaviors manipulators use to try and control others. We've journeyed through the dark maze of manipulation, unmasking its tenacious tendrils: love bombing, gaslighting, silent treatment, playing the victim, guilt-tripping, projection, triangulation, overwhelming with information, undermining confidence, and conditional positive reinforcement. These behaviors may seem harmless or even attractive at first. However, they're all part of a manipulator's toolkit, designed to control, confuse, and create self-doubt. Recognizing these tactics is the first step towards protecting yourself and reclaiming your power. Remember, knowledge is your shield, and awareness your sword. With these, you can navigate through the fog of manipulation, unswayed by its subtle influences. Each one of us deserves respect, honesty, and genuine interactions. So let's strive for healthy relationships and work environments free from manipulation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more empowering content. Until next time, stay vigilant and stay empowered.